Hello, my lovely duckies, and welcome to the Boneyard. And as always, I am your host, Caster. And today we're talking about episode 8 of season 2 of ReZero. And holy crap, and a pita, was it freaking awesome this week. Oh, ducky. Before we get into it, spoiler warning, obviously. So, anyways, let's leave off right where we left off last week. So, Ram and Otto are going to try to get Subaru out of Dodge. Anyways, Garfield is real pissed off and he's coming for him. But Subaru goes and says, "Hey, before we leave, we need to go and I need to go do something." And he goes into Rosewall, to get some answers. About damn time. And with no bullshit, he asks Rosewall. He's like, "Hey, Jesse, let me ask you a question, buddy. Is Beatrice a part of the witch's cult?" And Rosewall's like, "Well, why would you ask something like that?" And he says, "Hey, I saw her have a gospel." And Rosewell, I still don't trust him fully, but he says, after some, pulling teeth a little bit, Rosewell says basically that no, she's not part of the witch's cult. The book that she had was technically not a gospel. It was apparently one of two books that can, tell the future. And I don't know if I believe that or not, but anyways, he says that no, she's not part of the witch's cult, and but he says she can be a very valuable ally to you if you ask her. That Rosewell said, ask the question, and he says no, that's actually not good enough. He says you need to ask her or tell her that Rosewell said to ask the question, and then you need to give this answer: I am that person. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. We'll find out. Holy crap. Um, so we're gonna see, and he says that she'll be fully allied to you at that point. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but hey, at least we're getting somewhere. So anyways, so he goes off finally to leave, and is confronted by Garfield when he gets to Ram and Otto. And Ram pretty much tells him to go off. I'll hold him off. Otto takes him, and they jump on his dragon mount, which I still can't for the life of me pronounce. But anywho, uh, they get out of there, and the villagers help him out. Otto whistles, and all these lanterns come out, and the villagers are like, "Hey, this is how you get out of here." So they're going, and oh man, just before they could leave, here comes Garfield in full beast form. And he, oh man, he, oh, he is a giant like tiger, and it's like, huh, Garfield. He's an orange cat with stripes. Yeah, I get it. Anywho, uh, yeah, it's he probably hates Mondays. But anyways, um, he he tells Garfield, because Garfield's like in full rage beast form, and he's like gigantic. And he tells Garfield, he's like, okay, calm down, don't hurt anybody, and I'll go with you and do what you want. And Garfield lifts up his claw like he's gonna swat at him, and Otto, being the goody two shoes as he is, he goes and pushes him out of the way, and Otto gets sliced right in half. And it's, oh man, I was like, oh my god, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen, but still, I was just like, oh come on, Otto. Oh man. And then the villagers get in front and they're like, hey, don't touch Subaru, and they're just getting swatted, just turned into freaking they're just turning into mincemeat, literally just turned into ground beef. And so his lizard mount, or dragon mount, I should say, uh, grabs him and is like, hey, it's like pulling him, and he's just like, no, I need to die. And the dragon, it flings him over his shoulder, and as he goes flying, the little amulet that he had starts to glow, and he wakes up. Not too unlike how he wakes up after death, but he wakes up and he's like, "Oh man, how long have I been asleep?" Because he's back in the prison where he had escaped, and the door's open, and he's like, "How long have I been asleep?" Because this is like, where's the save point? So yeah, so he walks out and it's daylight. He's like, "Oh no, it's daylight. Oh man," and I'm sitting there like, "Oh crap," because it's already been 3 days. You know, who knows when the save point is moved. So he walks out and it's winter. There's snow everywhere. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh no. Hopefully we can oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen. So he's going around the village and no one's there, everyone's gone. He goes into the church where everybody was kind of held up and like all their stuff is there. But no one's there. Like all their backpacks and stuff like that, like all their clothes, all everything's just gone. Just gone. It's all there, but everyone's just gone. It's like no one's there. He goes to like Rosewall's bed, and like the bed has been, it's like looks like someone had slept in it, but no one's there. And it's in the dead of winter. It's like 2 3 foot of snow. And so he's walking around. He's trying to find out what the hell's going on. And strangely enough, as he's walking out in the middle of the field, he sees like a rabbit, like a horned rabbit, like it's got like a horn on it. In the Midwest, we probably call that a jackalope. All right, anyways, so he's just like, oh, a rabbit, and then he goes and like tries to like pet the rabbit, and he pulls back a bloody stub, and it's just like, holy shit! It's like right out of Monty Python and the Quest for Holy Grail. It's like, where's the holy hand grenade? And so like the rabbit like bit his arm off, and he's just screaming, and then like there's more rabbits show up, and next thing you know, he's like surrounded by like 200 rabbits, and they all jump on him like it's just some crazy B movie, and they just start biting and eating him alive, and he's screaming. And the last thing he sees is like, I mean, they're pulling parts off of him, and it's so nasty. And the last thing he sees is like a rabbit getting ready to bite out his eye. And then he wakes up and he's back at the first trial, back next to Amelia. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Oh, man. So, anyways, so, he just starts to kind of go crazy because he sees his hand and he's just like, oh, because he remembers it being ripped off, and he just starts to like really go crazy, and he starts bashing his head against the stone floor, and Amelia's still like, she hasn't woken up yet from the trial, and so he's just like going crazy, and then you hear like a voice, and she says, you have passed the trial. You're worthy, and he's back with the witch of greed, Akaina or Echidna, whatever her name is, and I'm gonna call her Akaina. So, anyways, he's back with her, the witch of greed, and her little her little table and umbrella, and so anywho, they she pretty much tells him that that he's been chosen, right? And that he says, well, I want to be able to remember you. He said, because it doesn't make any sense that that I have like that I'm a servant of the witch of greed, and I can't even remember any of this when I go back. So anywho, she says, well, that's true. So you're gonna have to drink some more of my piss tea, which she doesn't tell him that. But he gulps it down. And, he's like, "Oh, you like drinking my tea? My body fluid's in it, right?" So he spits it out, and he's kind of wanting answers of different things, and so she she asks him like what is wrong, basically what's wrong with him, and he he says, "Well, I can't tell you," and he's talking about like when he comes back to death, or his ability to come back to life after death. He can't tell anybody because like he gets that like the heart squeezed on him, and just all shit breaks loose. He's not allowed to do it, so he tells her, and nothing happens. And she's like, hey, staring at me like, you know, something's wrong. And so he says it again. He's like, I can return, I can return back from death. And he says it over and over again to where she's like, like, oh, hold on, calm down now. And he starts to cry, and he just keeps saying it over and over. I can return from death. And finally, he just like breaks down and cries. And I'm kind of skipping over a lot of what they say with each other, but I'm just hitting like the most important parts. And so basically, she seems a little bit more sympathetic to him. I don't know. I like her a lot more now. I don't. Do I trust her? I don't know. But she basically she's unaffected by that, obviously because she's a witch. And she tells him like he's crying, because he's like I have never been able to tell anybody this, and it's just a relief to actually just say that this is of what's been going on, because he cannot he cannot say anything of what happened to him. So he's been suffering by himself, and it's just a relief off his chest to be able to say this to somebody. And so she says, she gets down and she holds him, and she's like, look, she's like, she goes, I know, I've watched everything, but that's all I've done is just watch. And then it kind of goes to credits, and I'm just like, So this video is a week behind, so I'm gonna go ahead and watch the next episode and see how it what goes on. But I cannot wait. Oh, Ducky, I've had so much fun watching this. Oh man, for two months doing these videos, I've had a lot of fun discussing it with you, Ducky, and I there's so many things we have to figure out. Like since the timeline's reset, with the whole thing with Garfield, since we know new things about them, like why did they kidnap him and all that, and then and the whole thing with Beatrice is just getting deeper, and then we got to get back to the mansion, and we got to figure out how to stop that crazy bitch Elsa, and protect Rem and all the others, and Frederica and Petra and all them. And we gotta get these trials done. I mean, come on, we gotta get this show on the road. Go on. Anyways, Duckies, I've had a lot of fun, and post your comments down below. Tell me what you think's gonna happen, and Ducky, I will see you next week when we discuss episode 9 of season 2 of ReZero. And as always, Duckies, stay safe and be good to each other.